Hi.
Howdy, my headphones are fucked up.
On time, you guys.
Oh my God.
Woo!
What a novel concept.
I need
Yeah.
I need to
On-time
break
things.
something. It's weird.
I don't.
I'll give you some options. How about that?
Okay. That sounds good to me.
The earliest it could be is. Do you already have Adult Green recorded, or is it just
No,
the
we're
wrap?
recording that on Sunday.
Okay, so then the earliest it could be is 2:54.
Yes, yeah, I know that.
Well, okay.
That is, but actually,
I'm sorry. I'm trying to be helpful.
It couldn't.
It's not
No,
working.
you're
it couldn't be. It couldn't be that because we already have 2:30. No, we have 2:35 in the
Can
can.
anybody check
Right, you're correct.
their phone for the stream? Mine's not loading it.
I will check it.
Mine is
One sec.
upstairs charging. I do not have my phone on me.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm working on
All
it.
right, we're live. It's good.
Ha
I
ha
got
ha
it.
ha ha.
My headset keeps cutting
Oh
out.
yeah,
I don't know.
I
if-
see.
I'll
Season
be
1,
loving
episode
you
13.
Always.
Just gotta sit through the ad.
With
Yep.
a love that's true.
It's gonna be really weird if I see myself
always.
live from the phone while we're on the.
Well, don't look at that. You'll break the space-time continuum.
Apparently,
Don't reverse the
either that or we'll
polarity.
both just pass out like in Back to the Future too.
Or it'll just go fine, but you'll both have a memory gap
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Like Doctor
Oh.
Who.
Okay, I'm closing that. But yes, we're out. We're alive. That's weird. That's weird. I might pass out.
See, I fucking love looking at myself on camera. I don't understand how other actors can be like, I just can't look at myself on camera. Like, why the fuck did you start doing this then?
Well, no, it's more of when it's
All right, I
live,
posted
then it's
the
weird.
Facebook page. Please
Yay.
post as appropriate and tweet, etc.
All right, all
I
right.
already Instagrammed and Facebooked. I got you covered, Cat.
All right, I'm gonna take a picture and I'm gonna.
Kat, can you go to my headset extension cable on the board and plug that in? Because I'm getting a lot of like disconnects on my end.
Or is it the cavern from earlier?
No. It's my left ear is constantly cutting out.
I miss the cavern.
Yeah. So, fun fact for all y'all who weren't here before we went live, obviously.
It's this extension cord.
Switch got turned for special effects. And when we were listening on our headsets, it sounded like we were
It's the
inside a
only- yeah.
cavern. It was amazing.
I don't know how to help you.
No, nothing else can be done.
Okay. All right. Good luck. I took a picture. I'll take another one here. Ooh, a little bit of lens flare. Fancy. Okay, thank you. For production, we'll sneak away.
We love you for production.
Ow. I'm good.
Please tell me I didn't share that on the Play Better page again.
What?
Ow.
I have a long-standing habit of, because phone,
Sharing on your personal instead of the Play Better
no,
page.
sharing on the Play Better as myself instead
Oh.
of sharing on the Play Better page.
Yeah.
But I think I got it this time.
This
Yep.
is
All you had to do is look at that drop down and make sure that that's all good to go.
Yes, which I didn't do before I posted, so that's why I was saying I hope.
Yeah.
I hope.
I am. This is gonna mess with me. Can I swap for Liz's headphones since she is not here this week?
No, like
If they work, sure.
that's just dumb.
Oh God, can you?
Which you're gonna need somebody to check your levels, aren't you?
No.
Okay. Does that work?
You're just
Okay.
that good at.
Keep calm and roll on. Oh, that's adorable. Also, because I came that close to death last time, I brought a bunch of extra D20s in case I have to throw multiple in the fuck you bag.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, these are way better.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna need to figure out a headphone amp situation for that guy over there. All right.
Yay.
Okay.
Let's.
Yeah. So since we have a lot of time, you can just say, leave space for it. Say it's season 1, episode 13, and then.
I've done this before.
We hadn't completely agreed, or said it explicitly. So
I will give you options
thanks, I appreciate that. You're really good at that.
because we don't know when this one's going to be published.
But if you're
Because-
watching it now,
But you all are seeing it right now.
yeah,
Because of mimesis.
Are we in the cavern again?
No,
we're not.
no,
I missed the
no.
cavern.
You're someplace way worse than the cavern.
Oh.
It's going to be so awful. Hopefully,
I'm ready.
you always are. I appreciate that about you. You
Well,
always.
I have 1 hit point, so please don't almost kill me again. I super
Oh,
appreciate that.
Oh, that.
And I have no hit dice to use.
No, Narissa, we'll need to bring you on for one of our horror games at some point.
I would love that. I got to play Dread a few weeks ago for the first time, and it was one of the best gaming experiences I've ever had. So, yes, do that thing. Yes.
I have owned Dread for like 6 to 8 years now, and I have never played it.
Well, we keep,
Oh, it's
we keep,
so good.
Maybe it's
We
just
keep-
it's just the creeping horror that sits on your shelf and reminds you of the futility of life.
no, that's my entire gaming collection. No, we keep poking Liz about running that for us, but it just hasn't come together yet.
Yeah, we will. We'll get there.
She's got we've got a new shiny pretty now in 10 Candles.
Yeah, and
Which-
that's what keeps happening. We keep finding other new cool horror games to play.
Gareth Graham has a new game out.
He does.
All right. Well, let's get to Dungeons and Dragons.
I have to talk to him about getting a new one. A copy of it. Okay. All right.
Intro, believe in you.
Yes. Yes. Welcome to the Play Better Podcast. Tabletop Played Better. Episode 253. Episode 254. Episode 255. Episode 256. Episode 257. Once again, it's time for another Let's Play Better. This time out, Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. The Ratbaggers. Season 1, episode... Pick up. Season 1, episode 13. Backstories. I'm Cameron McNary, and I play Rilquist, a halfling with guilt.
I'm Molly McClanahan, and I'm trying to figure out what Kat wants me to post on Instagram.
I'm Narissa Hart, and I play Jovi and Dari. So she's a half-elf ranger with a backstory that's all of your goddamn business now. This is no longer accurate.
And Liz Brink is on assignment.
And I'm Ryan Seguin. I am the adjunct assistant to the dungeon
Oh
manager.
shit, you're adjunct. That's even worse.
I know.
I'm so sorry.
Why didn't they give you tenure?
Look, I've been pushing for it for a really long.
you sweet summer child.
They've told me that my
That's a Game of Thrones thing, right?
Yes.
I know. Okay, so that's one reference that I do understand, sort of. I
They-
know that it's summer and
Yeah,
then
no,
it turns
they don't.
to
They don't
winter.
give you tenure because they're paying you about a fifth of what they have to pay a tenured professor,
Yeah.
and they hire mostly adjuncts these days. It's terrible.
Oh, I know. I remember the professors at my university complaining about it. So yeah.
Yeah, I've been pushing for a while. All of my reviews are really good. I have my masters, my dungeon masters.
You're assistant to the dungeon masters.
No, that's just my title. I actually have my dungeon masters.
Really?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, you'd think.
I'll keep my fingers crossed for you.
That's when you hit the job
So-
market and realize everybody's a dungeon master.
Okay.
Oh man, I put that DM after my name for a reason.
Although actually, that's not true. Like dungeon masters are hard to come by.
Especially good ones. Sometimes you get people who try to dungeon master, but they don't actually understand how
Well,
they-
stories or gameplay mechanics
It
work.
takes practice.
It does.
They more
It does.
dungeon minor, you would say.
They're an assistant to the dungeon miner. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. I'm
Yeah.
glad I'm not that guy.
Okay, so recap of last
A
time.
dungeon bachelor. Anyway,
Dungeon associates.
Yep, just a dungeon certification and nothing else. So last time I believe that came out really wrong, didn't it?
because I have to plug Mimesis anyway.
Go ahead.
So, yes, which, if this is after Mimesis on the actual cast, you'll just take this out.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, guys, Mimesis coming up this Sunday at 2 p.m., September 7th. And
October 7th.
October 7th, whatever.
We went back in time for
It's
this.
spooky month now.
A 7th as part of our rolling Halloween special coverage. An original Delta Green scenario. They're not adventures. They're just
No.
not that. By yours truly, Molly, Ryan, and Amanda Farrow will be joining us
In studio.
in studio, which is crazy
Really? That's weird.
Yeah.
because I still think of her as being in Canada, which she's not.
I didn't think she existed outside of the internet. I might have to poke her and make sure she's real.
That's pretty fair. I mean, Pharaoh is known to be like an internet entity. She's basically an internet spirit. That's
Yeah.
canon.
But it's going to be about identity and betrayal, and I'm giving them so much firepower. It isn't even funny. And spoiler alert, it won't help a bit.
It has yet to help.
It never does.
Yeah.
Never helps.
The only firepower that has helped so far in Delta Green has been literal fire, and even then, it's been more of like a security blanket.
It's like, yeah, it's more in the cleanup phase.
Yeah. Guys, everything else we did failed. Get the fucking kerosene. Getting out.
That's exactly how the SOP is worded.
It's one of those things where it's like, no, that makes sense. That's like absolutely the response that makes sense every time. Is just committing massive arson, burning the shit all down.
Yeah, because how else do you cover up all of the evidence when you also have to get the fuck out of there? Anyway, Dungeons and Dragons,
Yes.
5th edition.
Now recap?
I can happily recap if you'd like.
I don't know.
Unless you want.
She's got that eager puppy thing going on.
No, I mean, you do the intros, but I'm happy to pass off the recap hat to you if you think you can handle it. Can you handle it?
Can you kick it up a notch though? I don't want previously on the Ratbaggers. I want previously on the Ratbaggers.
If you want me to do full voiceover work, I can do full voiceover work.
Why do you think I brought you on?
Go ahead.
Previously on the Ratbaggers. Wow, and then I forgot how life works.
Yeah, not so easy, is it?
No,
not
no.
so easy.
Previously
y'all over there making fun of me every single time.
Previously
But-
on the Ratbaggers, after delving into dungeons full of 2 cults, not just 1, but 2, attempting to save Ginny, the paladin who was about to be slain, Jovi nearly died, and many reveals suddenly occurred. What will happen next? We're
I
about
put
to
an
find
axe in
out.
the guy's face.
Yeah.
Heroic fucking rescue
Extremely heroic fucking rescue, actually realizing that people are friends.
by real quest. No, you were unconscious, so you didn't know. But
Yeah. I usually have a script for these things. I'm good with improvisation, but not for intros like that.
you know, I was gonna get on you about making fun of me, but come to think of it, 5 years on, I probably should have written out a script by now.
So there you go.
I'm like, but no, that would make it too much like work, and
No, I get that completely.
that would mean admitting to myself that it's a thing.
You all had delved into...
Delvin?
Delved?
Doved.
You
Delved.
delved into the Undercity,
delve.
under the old Reese family home in Relmord. You had been bequeathed. No, that's been.
See, now I got you. I'm inside your head.
That means to have been given.
Yep.
You were bequothen. Bequinthed.
Bequeathed. At the behest. That's the B word.
Sorry.
I was looking for.
Bequinthed.
Yeah.
God.
At the behest of Duckfoot.
Beheast.
Yeah.
We're off to a rollicking start tonight. Sorry. Okay, I'm on task.
You had been asked to save the soul of his niece Ginny after an evil of which you didn't really bother to ask him about, which I thought was great, fell upon his family in a way that consumed them in multiple fashions.
With RealQuest, actually, that makes perfect sense in character.
No, I get it. I accepted it completely. I was like, this exists if you guys want to, like. So as a GM, I've realized, like, okay, don't write a whole bunch of backstory. Like, make it there in case they want to ask. But if they don't, they don't need to know. And you guys were like, we don't need to know. You want to know. And I was like, that's fine. You don't actually need to. You can keep going. You don't need to, keep hitting the story prompt button to see what the NPC has to say about what's going on here. But I wrote it just in case somebody asked. But anyway, you got sent down into some smugglers' tunnels because Duckfoot had mentioned that he knew that Ginny was about to die, or was essentially in a state of death. He had sort of stopped it right at her death because he did not want either...
She was in the Frighteners at the point where they were just starting to drag her down.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And he didn't want her soul to be corrupted, consumed. He didn't know what was going to happen. He just knew that something bad could happen to his niece. And the only thing that this old medium's ghost had left was to sort of freeze everything in place. It was a very, very haphazard job, but he knew that if someone were to come along, or something like the centuries were to pass by and that cave were to collapse, she was already dead, but it would kill them and he would, they wouldn't be able to do whatever it is they were planning with her soul. You all had come down, you killed those cultists, and yeah, so she mentioned that she was being sent to find them because they were hunting someone. And that's kind of where we last left. We hadn't really wrapped up exactly what was going on with her being there, with her mission. She did mention that she was involved with the Rangers of the Celadon Forest, and she was there at their behest, but she was overcome. And I mentioned like Ducky disappeared because I don't have a reason for him to be there anymore, and it's really easy to say that a ghost disappears. But I wanted her to still be there just in case you guys wanted to ask questions. It's not really necessary. That's why I left a letter on her corpse so that you can say, I don't want to talk to the ghost. I just want to go do the thing. That's available.
That's solid CRPG
No,
design.
this is where I'm going to be hitting all the story prompts.
Okay.
So like,
Okay.
glad you have it written.
So yeah, so she's there for long enough for you to ask her whatever you want to ask her, and then we can move on from there.
Okay. Jovi is still, I think, sitting on the ground again, after Mizzy having sort of helped her get to her feet and then realizing, no, this is a really bad idea, because if there were a numerical system to judge how alive you are, she's not doing great. She's at 1 hit point total. But she is going to look to the ghost, and first question that comes out of her mouth is, you said you were here at the behest of the Rangers of Celadon Forest? How did you know them? How did you work together?
Well, no, I was hired to sort of hunt down this cult. They had known that there was a traitor in their midst, and they had sent someone. They had been hiring out these cultists sort of behind the backs of the kingdoms. There was a lot of internal strife going on, from what I could guess. They didn't exactly let me in on a lot of it. But they had reached out to my temple and said, "Hey, we've got a bit of a Hextor problem, and you're a paladin of Heronius. So could we get your help?" And I'm honor bound to destroy all followers of Hextor. So I came down here. What I found was a war between Erythnal cultists and Hextor cultists, both hunting for the same thing.
What were they hunting for?
From what I could tell, it was a way to cause a new civil war between Ernst and Nyrand. They were planning like multiple assassinations that would blame one side on the other, so that it would look like they could place the blame on whoever they wanted. Someone up there in that old forest wanted independence, wanted to not be under the thumb of the King of Nyrand. I don't know why. I don't know who would gain anything from being entirely separate like that, like who would have their own little range of fiefdom, but that's what it looked like. And then I was murdered.
Do you know any of the names of the people who they were going to be assassinating? Or just the kinds of people?
Well, I know specifically that they were coming after what's your character's last name? I'm forgetting. Arenia. There was an old man signed his name Arenia. I know he was on their hit list, but that was a decade ago.
Yeah. Fuck. Okay.
Turns out he was a real shifty bloke.
Oh, do you mean the... Are you talking about Lassiter? Lassiter Aramia?
I didn't get his first name. I just got his,
He's the one who ordered for the assassinations.
No, he was a target. He was
a target. Okay.
He was the one that asked me to come down here and do this whole thing.
He asked you to investigate and see if And you can just see the wheels in Jovi's head turning like, wait, something about this doesn't make sense. So he wanted you to investigate the fact that these cultists were going to be going after the Rangers of Celadon Forest.
Yep.
So he was defending them.
Or at least himself. But yeah, as far as I could tell.
Okay. That's weird.
Or if I succeeded, it was plausible deniability. I haven't the slightest.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. Do you guys have anything you wanted to know?
Did you know him?
Yeah, I know him. I know him very well. Or at least I thought I did.
Does that seem like the kind of guy that would go out and hire a paladin to go kill some cultists?
No. Well, if you had asked me that 10 years ago, I would have said yes. But not anymore.
Yeah, life's complicated.
Yeah, really fucking complicated.
She sort of says that with like the nod of like, I'm dead and a lot of the world's problems are no longer my own.
Not my problem, dude. You're
She's got
fix it yourself.
like from one of the things that I wanted to have come off about both Ginny and Duckfoot is that their family sort of has this laissez-faire association with death, like where a lot of other people are very morose about it. They're like, yeah, once you're dead, you're kind of also too dead to care. I mean,
Yeah.
it seems she comes off as pretty casual about the whole concept of just being dead.
Did you meet the man who signed the documents, or were you just given the assignment?
No, I met him briefly.
Okay, what can you tell me about him? Or what he seemed like then?
Very very stern, very determined. I had a bunch of his rangers with him. I was sort of I met him in the forest. They mentioned that one important thing that I did catch is that the mission was more important to them than like anything else. That like they were dead set on making sure that whatever they were on about like was protected. And I just assumed it was the forest. But hey.
Yeah. Thank you. That's a lot. Well, I'm glad your soul is safe at the very least.
Oh, yeah, Paladin of Herodias, my death is going to... I get to go to his realm and hang out for all eternity. It's going to be great.
Do you know what's in his heaven? Or his version of up there?
She sort of looks at you blankly, like realizing, oh, yeah, it's not common knowledge what happens to people after they die.
No.
She's like, oh, well, if whenever you die, if you follow a particular god closely enough, you get sent to whatever their realm is. If you worship anyone on the material plane, though, bit of a weird one, but hey, I don't. Yeah, I'm going to Celestia. It's just sort of hanging out, partying all the time, good times, relaxing, eating good food,
Though you're not going to the realms of God Glittergold.
No, that's Forgotten Realms.
Well, who's the gnomish god?
They don't really have one.
Well, that kills my bon mot. I was going to make a whole joke about how, like, good for you.
Yeah.
Because gnomes are stupid.
Yeah. No,
But let's just pretend I never said that.
No, the gnomes have, like, I'm forgetting his name, but, like, there's a god of like, craftsmanship. It's basically like the god of having a steady day job, almost. It's just it's like crafting. It's not like invention. It's like dedication to task and
The
work.
god of badgers and winsomeness.
Yeah, it's not that. Yeah, they're because in Greyhawk they're not these creatures of the Fae or whatever. They're
They're Ursat's halflings.
No, they're because like if Tolkien described halflings as being like the quintessential countryside Englishman, the gnomes are like the antithesis of that. They're city dwellers. They're the sort of people that like, in modern day would work in skyscrapers. They wouldn't do well out in the country. They have to work like 60 hours a week, or it drives them nuts.
You know what I'm realizing? I'm realizing that, like, if they had just done a cosmetic thing to the gnomes, if they like made them little lizard people, or little bird people, or like they had a third hand or something, I would have no problem with them.
It's just the fact that they're small like halflings that
They're insufficiently different.
yeah.
If they were blue,
Yeah, well then they'd be Smurfs, but
that's which actually there are Smurfs in D&D.
they are what are they called?
Svarts,
Zvarts, that's right.
which I'm pretty sure is German for Smurfs.
I haven't seen them past second edition.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, they're kind of created to be like the literal antithesis to halflings.
Except, looking almost exactly the same.
Yeah, aside from the height. But otherwise, yeah, where halflings relax, they're workaholics, and where halflings are sneaky, they're boisterous, that sort of thing. But yeah, so yeah, she mentions and that like yeah, she's gonna go to the celestial plane. It's gonna be great. It's basically like if you were to take Valhalla mixed with Elysium, that's where she's going. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Yep. For those just listening to the podcast, I just made the symbol of Valhalla from Mad Max.
The V8.
over my
The
head.
witness
The
me.
V8. The V8 engine.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
What's up?
So it's bright lights and celestial choirs.
Yeah.
All of eternity, you'll never be able to get to sleep.
Except in third
And
edition.
guitarists that have fire spewing guitars.
Except in third edition, by sheer technicality, the positive energy plane could kill you by healing you too much.
Really?
Yeah, there was a rule in third where all temporary hit points stacked, as opposed to fourth and fifth where you just take the max of whatever the spell gives you. There was also a like weird like second like tiny rule in the written in the spine of the back of one of the books that was like, if your temporary hit points ever double your max HP, you die, you explode.
So you get like positivity cancer and just die?
Yeah. So the plane that was built out of healing energy had geysers that would fill you up to full health and give you tons of temporary hit points. So you could be healed to death in the positive energy plane in third.
Jeez.
Which makes sense. It makes sense that would be inimical. Inimical? Yeah,
Inimicable?
No, not inimicable. Inimicable is not a word. Inimical.
Oh, I've never heard it.
I don't know the word either.
Right, Emily?
I got nothing.
Inimical?
No, you know how if you say a word enough, it just sounds like noises?
Inimical. And now I have to look it up.
Is that like an enema? Is that like you can enemize something?
No.
Are we going to that plane?
Yes.
Nope.
And another and another until you come to your senses.
Inimical. Tending to obstruct or harm. Adjective. Unfriendly or hostile.
Oh,
We
like
definitely
enemy.
don't want that.
And
in
the word of
the
the
enema
day
plane.
is
Inimical.
Garrison.
and
She doesn't know that joke.
She doesn't know the Garrison joke?
No.
Oh, okay.
What is the Garrison joke?
Oh God. Okay. So there was one time we were doing the cast, and when I get down, I sometimes have difficulty thinking of like what the next word is, and also I'm starting to get a little older. What?
We were playing 13th Age.
13th age. That's right. And I'm like, okay, you get to this tower, and I'm like, I know what it is, and I know there is a perfect word for it, and I can't think of it. And it went on like a minute too long. Like it just and at that point it became a joke.
We were like the station, the force. Like he was trying to think of a group of soldiers, and then like.
And then I got there through Garrison Keeler. Is how I got there.
And it was like 15. No, I had meant it was like Garrison, and the whole table just went. You just exploded. You were like, that's it. And now, like, one of our running jokes is whenever someone can't think of a word, the word is Garrison.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
Cool, great. So Garrison, moving on.
Yeah. So
Playing D&D.
Yep. So yeah. So she's like, I'm fine. Things are gonna be great. Like my Uncle Ducky. He's going to the astral plane. Whatever.
All right, well, in that case, I wish you the best of luck in Celestia.
She'll bow. She'll, thank you for your service. And she'll, move on and float into the ether and go to her eternal rest.
Okay, and Jovi's gonna search through her bags and see if she has any health potions, because that would be super helpful right now.
I'll let you know. You get all your health back when you sleep. I don't have anything that's going to happen between now and you having a full rest, so you don't have to worry about that. She doesn't have any healing on her.
She's got that sense that she's going to be able to get back to her bed with no problems.
In the middle of, I don't want to set up camp in the middle of the cult chambers.
Oh, it's
That's-
nice. Come on.
Well, one thing you do know is you're about 5 minutes worth of walking away from main city streets.
Yeah, but that's going to be a lot of limping for Jovi and having
That's
to
fair.
lean on other people, which is super uncomfortable.
She does not have any healing potions.
We can just go up to the gnome house and rest there in awkward tiny beds.
Well, Roquist would be fun. No, they'd all just be too stiff.
I would refuse.
They're just horribly
No,
uncomfortably built.
no. Actually, the irony of it is he's kind of a Spartan kind of guy. Like he's not like other halflings in that regard.
it would just be
And I don't know if you've noticed looking at his portrait. I managed to design it so he looks exactly like a gnome, completely accidentally. I was like, that's a cool character design. If you had the mutton chop sideburns and the big nose and that would look cool.
It's halflingish too.
Well, yeah, that's my
No,
that's his
your
point.
point. That-
That's yeah,
I got
exactly.
He's so tired of being mistaken for a gnome because you used to work so much because you weren't just a layabout, and people always be like, "Oh, what a nice gnome you are."
I will fucking cut you.
But just for the sake of actually getting to the meat and potatoes of the event, I'll let you. The letter that you find on her that she mentioned,
Yeah.
is very clearly in your father's handwriting.
Okay. Okay.
It says, Lady Reese, once you have dispatched with the cultists, please return to the Celadon Forest. You will find our enclave at these coordinates, and coordinates in the forest are listed. Knock on the root 3 times with the side of a bow at the old blue tree.
Do I know the tree that this letter is talking about?
Yep. You've seen it. You never knew it was special, but
Okay.
you've seen it for sure. You know exactly where to go.
Okay. Oh, fuck, but that puts me really close to the city. Joey's gonna read over the letter about 15 times.
Mm-hmm.
I just see like elf
And-
after elf after elf getting riddled with arrows because they're knocking with the wrong kind of bow. That they have like a viola bow. That they're trying,
No.
and that's not the password.
Nope.
Okay, Jovi's gonna stop and look at the others and just say, did we have to go back to Wadney immediately once we finish this assignment?
I think so.
You
Yeah.
didn't know.
No. Would
I will tell you, she entrusts you all to follow this to its natural conclusion.
Oh, I know. I'm in character trying to figure out how she's
I
gonna
just
play
wanted to
this.
disambiguate just in case there was any confusion.
Is it all right if we make a stop on the way back?
We're gonna punch a tree
I
3 times.
with
a bow?
And then she realizes that Gail was probably reading right over her shoulder the
Oh, yeah.
entire time she was reading the letter.
It's in Elvish, if that helps.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, you understand Elvish?
only dwarfish.
Yeah, she was actually just saying we're gonna punch a tree just because that's a thing for her.
And immediately
make
Jovi
it-
tenses up and is like, that wasn't my plan. Why would you say something like that? I don't understand.
You know, the ghost kept mentioning, forest, this, and that's. I don't fucking know what else you do in a forest.
You know what? If you want, I
Gonna punch some squirrels. I don't know.
was planning to go to a forest, just to check in on a few things. But if you find a tree that you would like to punch that is a completely normal color, then you're more than welcome to do
I mean,
so.
I might. I mean, there's 2 things I know you do in forest, which is drunkenly punch trees and play a flute, and the woodland creatures come. So I can attempt to do both of those, but I suspect I will have more luck with the first.
Do you have a flute?
No.
No, then I guess you'll have to make a flute in the forest, won't you?
Your education was more deep than broad, wasn't it?
Roquist, don't be rude.
Not being rude. I'm just asking a question.
I am knowledgeable in many things. Just
I-
most of those things don't involve not being punched.
I am saying you're an expert. Is all I would say. You're specialized in a particular field.
That is true.
See.
All right.
However, it
let's-
is kind of funny because she does play the fiddle. So
love
she will,
it.
in fact, have a bow to.
See, there we go.
That's pretty good.
Layers.
I like
man.
that.
Our DM's on top of it.
Yep. So, make our way back to the ship.
Yeah. So you guys make your
Sweet.
way back to the ship, unimpeded. You all can get rest. You're all back at full spells, hit points.
Yay! I
Jesus.
haven't lost a single hit point yet.
Good for you. You know, that's just the best.
Because I know what I'm doing.
That's a
Which is to let
ridiculous
everyone
amount of
else get
shade.
hit.
Truth stings, doesn't it? Yeah. No, that's because I'm the rogue, and that is exactly my job, is to let everyone else get it, including the wizard.
And just for the sake of like, you know, doing this Muppet style, you travel by map. Yeah, you know, you make it up far enough of the river to get off. You're all hiking across the plains to the forest. It's not much farther now. And I'm going. Did you tell them why you're going here?
No, she absolutely not. I think that she admitted that her name was Fella and said that they had things to talk about, but the others got so distracted by other things that the one moment that she like thought about talking about it passed, and now she's not sure how to relay this information.
Well, so then, as far as the rest of you know, you're on your way to try and find this enclave where Ginny was supposed to report in. She told you that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a pretty good idea that
That
Jovi has unfinished business.
I was
Yeah.
too busy putting the hands of corpses onto the crotches
Yeah.
of other corpses, so I have no idea
given.
what's happening.
But like every little crumb that was dropped, Reelquist just snapped it right up. He doesn't have a complete picture, but he's tuned in.
All right.
Yeah, she just said that she wants to investigate where this enclave was supposed to be.
He listened to more than I did, I think is what I'm saying.
That's fair. Just for the sake of narrative for everybody at home, Mizzy is following them.
And Liz Brink is on assignment.
So I'm because nothing in between is the focus of what I wanted to get to narratively speaking. It's uneventful, you know. Star wipe. You're standing in front of the tree.
Great. Is it actually a blue tree? Paint me a word picture. What
So,
does this tree look like?
This
It's a weeping willow.
this ancient
Speak friend and enter.
this ancient birch tree. The bark on the outside has weathered and blued heavily, almost as if it were aging steel.
Jesus. Okay. And I've passed this tree a million times, probably.
Yeah,
while
I
going
mean,
through the forest.
yeah, and everybody's always had legends about it, but nobody ever actually knew that it connected to anything. There's like, oh yeah, it's the old, you know,
Okay. I think when we see
it's
this,
that weird tree.
no, I think when we see this in the distance, she's gonna look to Gale and say, you see that tree, pointing to a completely different tree. That one looks like you could probably make a really good flute out of it, and it might be good for punching. What do you say?
Punch the shit out of that tree.
Do it. Go punch the shit out of that tree. I believe in you.
You punch the tree. It breaks apart. You now have sticks. You can form them into a specific pattern so that you can then make a box to make an axe and a pickaxe so that you can then go, mine stone. And now this is Minecraft because you've punched a tree to get wood.
I'm not doing shit with that wood. Fuck that tree. I have a splinter in my knuckle.
All right.
No, she's going to go, and she doesn't play the flute or know how to make a flute, but she figures that music is the key to woodland friends. So she's going to sit under a tree and play her fiddle.
Hell yeah.
All right. You rap upon this ancient tree.
Are they looking?
That's up to everyone else. I mean, Mizzy, I'm gonna.
Did you try and get rid of us?
I that's why I was like, Gail, go forth.
Well,
Maybe
I'm
punch that tree.
completely solicitous about. Oh, of course, anything you say that I totally follow her.
Okay, cool. And then while they're not looking, I'm gonna go and tap the tree 3 times.
Okay. When you do, the tree starts to make this snapping sound as if unseen giant hands were reaching out and twisting it in place, and it continues to twist and twist until it is as thin as a twirled towel, and has the appearance as such. All the branches are straight up, and it is completely spun. And it's just humming slightly.
It's humming?
Yeah.
Is it high pitched or
Not at all. It sounds, in fact, it's making the same kind of tones as the tones that Gale is hitting on her largest strings.
interesting? Is Dari reacting to this at all?
I mean, he's sort of looking at it like it's weird, but
Okay, and there's no entrance to the tree or anything like that. It just sort of shriveled up.
shriveled isn't quite the right word.
Well, it
but-
twisted and now is extremely thin.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to make some sort of perception check to see if anything in the area has changed.
Yeah. Well, that would be investigation. That'd be close to
Yes.
examination.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm gonna make an investigation check for that. Oh, hey, that's good. 18.
There is a lot of air moving around the tree from what you can tell. But that's being caused by the sound. Other than that, there doesn't seem to be anything in the area being directly affected by it. It seems to be moving upon its own accord.
I'd like to touch the tree.
You touch the tree, at which point there is a bassy twang as you strike the chord of this enchanted steelwood tree. And all of you feel this incredible wave of sound as if someone has taken the largest cello string you had ever seen and plucked it. All right, now this is what I wanted to get to tonight. So we're going to go into individual sessions. I wanted to touch on a few things about like RPGs and design and GMing in general. And one of the things that so I think there are 3 main points that I wanted to hit if I'm remembering all this correctly. One thing is I wanted to show off whatever everybody's about to hit level 3. Congratulations, you all are level 3. You all gain the 50 experience points. You go up to 900. You are level 3.
And 1.
And yeah, you gain 50 experience points. You're 901. I wanted to show off what makes everybody cool. This is the level, unless you're a cleric, at which you kind of get the stuff that defines you. Mizzy actually got that last level, and which is fortuitous that she's not here because we'll be able to do that with her next time. But I'm going to do these brief sessions where I go around the table and we have everybody do the cool new thing that they got, all this cool new stuff that they get for level 3. Coincidentally, everybody playing is playing stuff out of Unearthed Arcana, so nobody's actually playing anything out of any of the printed books from what I could tell. So I had to look all the stuff up ahead of time so that I made situations that were appropriate to showing off the cool shit that they do. But
It's not Unearthed Arcana. It's
Xanathar's.
No, it's
Xanathar's Guide.
oh, was it Xanathar? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So it used to be Unearthed Arcana that they put into Xanathar's Guide.
Right.
Got it.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. That's why I was thinking that. All right. Well, so we're gonna go around. I'm gonna do Gale first, then Rilquist, then Jovi. None of you know where Mizzy went because you're all in sort of your own thing.
All right. Question: are we also hitting? Like, are we just gonna talk about backstory stuff tonight as well, or like,
It'll be there.
great?
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely. It is relevant to your individual sessions. So Gale is you're standing in you're standing on a ship,
As I do.
Well, sitting down with your fiddle in your hand on this ship. All of the sails are completely trimmed. There doesn't seem anybody else here. The sky around you, and after your eyes first blink, you realize that everything here is gray. Very dark gray. There doesn't seem to be any light sources that you can tell, even if you look up at the sky, but it's obviously lit enough for you to see.
So, I mean, is the sky like just solid gray? Like there's no stars, there's no way to tell like what time of day it is. Just
Correct.
everything is okay.
Yeah, it's cloudy. It's extremely. It's
All right.
in fact, looking up is dizzying. It's almost like being in an incredibly high place and staring straight down and not being
Okay.
able to see the bottom. Looking out into the sea that you're on, it is equally featureless. And if you look down at the boat, it's not cloudy and it's not watery. The boat is just sort of on this gray nothingness.
Well, shit.
Yep. And yeah, there's no crew. You're on a full galleon. It seems to be in perfect condition, but you're standing on the deck of this ship.
Oh, I'm going to the wheel then.
You go into the wheel.
Oh yeah. I don't get to stand at the wheel very often. Now's my chance.
All right. You go up and you're standing at the helm.
Definitely making race car noises.
You can see that the wheel.
Which is actually just like really repetitive ocean noises.
Yep.
You can see that the wheel is properly locked. You'd have to go through the whole rigmarole of getting the ship. It's like the ship is set to dock, not anchor, but actually docked. But clearly you're not in a dock.
I am going to look around then and see if I can find maybe everyone else is below or something.
Okay.
I'm going to wander, see if I can find the captain, the other captain, the assistant captain, all of my siblings who have somehow gotten captain after their name except for me.
You go into the captain's quarters, and it feels extremely familiar. It looks like the captain's quarters from your old ship, but in like immaculate condition. Like everything was recently cleaned and put up just so.
Is there a log anywhere that I can read?
Sure.
I'm going to read the log for that day's entry.
The last log seems to have been from about a year ago, and it said the storms grew louder today, but we had to leave her behind. That's all it says.
She's kind of sitting there just like, what? It takes her a second like for it to sink in and for her to like process like they left me there on purpose.
Do you check any of the other logs? Any of the
Yeah,
other
I'm
pages?
gonna look a few days previously to see if there's like
It says we almost thought that we lost Gale today. She was dragged into the water by the largest squid I'd ever seen. But when the sky opened up and pulled her out along with its corpse, we thought that she was a blessing. We were wrong.
I'm a blessing. And I was not pulled out of the sea. I triumphantly clawed my way out of the clutches of the deep, and I'm sitting there like correcting it. I have found the pen, and I am retconning the story of my miraculous.
The pen is in your hand, yet you do not remember reaching for it. As you are correcting this log, the room begins to alight with more color, which everything around you begins to look a little more colorful for sure, also more rotted.
Okay. So I'm continuing to correct this obviously erroneously recorded event in that I was not dragged into the sea. Although it was definitely the largest squid you have ever seen. I underline that.
Mm-hmm.
I capitalize largest squid ever seen.
Uh-huh.
I leapt in after it as we were not done our arm wrestling match.
As you're doing
And
that,
after I vanquished and thoroughly defeated said squid and triumphantly reemerged, none worse to wear,
you're perfectly fine.
perfectly fine, onto the deck. I then turned around and tossed in a coin to the squid because I did this on a bet.
Oh, okay.
And I had to give him something for being a good opponent.
All right. As this obviously not embellished story
No.
is being penned, the color in the room around you is full. The captain's quarters now look exactly the day that they did the last time that you remember being on the ship. When you can then hear a ship's bell being rung on the outside.
I'm going to run outside.
You run outside. The deck is fully colored. There is sort of this cylinder of color around the ship. As you look up at the sky, the sky is the correct color that it should be directly above the ship where you are. But the wood is, again, looking greenish, more so than it ever should. And the sails are now completely unfurled. But they look tattered and cut.
Guys, what the fuck did you do to the sails?
No one answers you.
Hey. I wander around and call out for a while.
As you wander around and call out, there is a thudding coming from the lower decks.
Let me go investigate this thudding.
You go down to the gun deck, and you're surrounded by cannons, and you can see the capstan that would keep the anchor away at the back is not connected to its chain, which seems incredibly odd. And none of the cannons are ready for firing. There's no powder or balls anywhere that you can see. Thank you, Molly.
You're welcome.
And the thudding seems to be coming from the hold.
We go into the hold.
You go into the hold. The thudding is growing louder, and you can see a number of squid-like tentacles coming up through the bottom of the ship, but there's no water leaking into the ship.
Back for more, bitches! She plops herself down and puts her arm out to the closest tentacle.
All right. Grip this tentacle, and as you go to arm wrestle the creepy squid arms coming up out of the hold of this spectral ship.
This whole thing is a little over the top.
Yeah, you think? You'll find out why in a minute.
No, never mind. It's a movie joke.
Oh.
Movie over the top with Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Okay. You don't need to.
Okay.
It's a movie about arm wrestling.
Oh, all right. All right. As Gale grips this squid's tentacle, it offers you no resistance as it starts pulling. As you pull it up, a squid does not come with it, but a number of your old crew members do, sort of like clown car style, pull out of this hole in the floor. As they sort of gooily splorp and splop into existence, the tentacles morph into them, but they don't look right. They look like almost wax figure representations staring at you blankly. And once a number of them have been pulled out, like a dozen, the hole is no longer present. And you're surrounded by sort of, House of Wax representations of your former crew.
I'm going to poke one.
You poke one, and lightning flies out of your hand, and sort of makes it pop, and they blow up against the wall.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
The rest of them pull out their weapons, and they start to come at you.
Fuck. I'm going to run back towards the deck.
As you're running back towards the deck, you're running past the cannons on the gun deck, and there is lightning shooting out of you, lighting these now fully prepped lit fuses for all of the cannons on the deck as you run back up to the main deck. As you get back up to the main deck, the cannons don't fire cannonballs, but instead just sort of explode on the side and rock the ship back and forth. And now there are just holes at your feet. The ship seems to be sinking, and a whole bunch of the of your crewmates are just sort of coming up out of there, and they're coming at you now.
Really, guys? If it's about the lightning, I didn't do that. I totally didn't.
These representations are starting to lose their familiarity. They're sort of hitting, the uncanny valley, just sort of blank, waxy faces, but they're coming at you with weapons.
Oh, son of a bitch. I am now both terrified and very angry.
But very angry.
Full of rage, if you might say.
As you rage, as you actually reach in and release that rage,
well, also I'm like, now that I'm seeing like their fake faces in front of me, I'm just like, those motherfuckers left me.
There you go.
They left me.
There you go. You hit that, and as they all start coming at you, lightning bolts just fly out of you. Every couple of seconds, one of them is just struck down as they keep coming at you.
Would you say that I emanate an aura in a 10-foot radius, and the creatures in that aura must make a dexterity saving throw?
I would say that.
Okay.
And that is exactly what's happening, but for narrative reasons.
Is that all creatures or enemy creatures?
All.
Okay.
But I select the creatures, and then eventually
okay.
you guys get, at higher levels, you get the benefit of my aura.
But yes, so you're crackling with lightning. As your enemies set themselves upon you, they're being, the ones that you're not hitting are being automatically struck down, but you are now locked in a battle against these family facsimiles attacking you. And then we'll move on to Rilquist.
Okay.
Rilquist, you're younger. I forgot the exact timeline for this, but I want to say you're in like your 30s now.
Sure.
You're standing in the city of Greyhawk. You've been here a lot.
Sure. Is this like a physical change?
You pass by a window and you can see your younger self in the mirror, or in the reflection.
Do I have a speech impediment?
Did you at that age?
I did not.
Then no.
Okay.
You're walking around.
Like got the brown hair slicked back. He's real, just severe looking dude.
Yeah. I mean, this place looks exactly like it was the last time you were here. You have a note in your hand, however.
Okay, I look at the note.
It says, "Meet at the Green Dragon Inn. Let none see you. Be there 10 minutes before 10.
I crumple it up and throw it away from me like it's on fire.
You do so. It's gone. And it doesn't even hit the ground. It's just gone. It's out of sight, out of mind.
I examine my surroundings.
You are amongst the hustle and bustle of the free city of Greyhawk. There's a lot of signage about visiting dignitaries, how to show proper respect, and what areas and parts of the city will be closed off for the signing ceremony today.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yep. You've been here before.
Yeah. I wait around and see if, I can get out of this somehow? Like if there's an out clause.
Well, as you swing around, you feel
Not to like run away, but like, I'm in a magic thing.
yeah.
Like, do I have to go through this again? Do I have to do this again? Can I get out of this quantum leap
I see what you're
and
saying.
make the leap home?
Give me an investigation check, but you have advantage on this now, don't you?
No, not quite. I can make it as a bonus action.
Okay, I thought you also got something for being naturally inquisitive.
I do. I get a couple things. I
Yeah.
get the first one is like I can do when I do a wisdom insight to see if somebody's lying. I automatically get at least an 8 on the check. Like my die is considered to be an 8 or higher. I consider it to be an 8 if I roll lower.
Gotcha.
The other things are I can use a bonus action to make a wisdom perception or intelligence investigation check. I can do those as bonus actions instead of having to take time.
Sure.
I can do them instantaneously.
Yeah, I thought you got something else as like
I
double your
do.
proficiency.
I do, well, no, that's later. I get the thing I get is I can make a wisdom insight check as a bonus action in combat to spot somebody's weak spot, and then for the next minute I can use a sneak attack on them no matter what.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So, but yeah, give me an investigation check as you're trying to find a, you're saying Trinity, can you get me an exit right now?
13.
As far as you can tell, this place is immaculately recreated.
Sure.
You don't see anything readily in front of you that would be like, oh, this is, here's the phone booth to get out. But you do see the tower for where the Circle of Eight lives. If anyone in a magical realm, if they've recreated the magic, it would be there to get you out.
Yeah, that's not what I'm thinking. I'm looking for another path to go other than east towards the house with the little mailbox.
Yeah, I get you. You're trying to walk sideways instead of backwards or forwards.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I totally get. It doesn't take me long to get that I can't.
Yeah. You know what? I'll even say that you find something that looks out of the ordinary. Like, I don't remember that, and so you go down that way. Like, clearly this is built from my memory, and you go down that way. And the non-Euclidean nature, the clear imaginative nature of the realm just sort of accepts that you're moving forward and puts you in front of the Green Dragon.
Of course it does. I was like, fuck you then. All right. So I will go into the inn.
All right. At one point of order, though, because Rilquist is extremely attentive and would have noticed this, your back was heavy as you ran.
Heavy how?
Like, there's a lot of stuff in your pack.
I'm wearing a pack.
Yeah, your backpack.
Okay. All right. Cool. I got it.
Yeah, you open the door.
I'm still. I haven't moved into another realm.
No, that's fine. I'm just enraptured by the story. Sorry. Go on, please.
You move forward. The contacts that you were supposed to meet are there. You see a young gnomish woman in Greyhawk Thieves Guild sort of leathered garb that only those that have seen it before would recognize. But she's got the black leather patches that represent that of the Thieves Guild. You also remember meeting her here today.
Yeah, of course I do. Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, and so I go and with an air of casual menace that like I'm like, okay, I'll play we'll see where this goes. I'll play this part. I sit down in front of her and I don't say a word.
Did you get the information?
What do you think?
Well, I think that you're the best in the business, and you're hopefully about to get paid that exorbitant fee that you mentioned.
No, it's not the fee I'm interested in, really. But, yes, I get the fee. I will get the fee, yes.
Well, show it to me.
I look for the information.
You reach around your backpack. You remember having gathered all of this before. You'd found out everything that there was to know about the Circle of Eight. No one had ever infiltrated all of their secrets like you had. You had recently discovered that the reason that everyone presumed them to be dead only to show up decades later was that they had created magical clones for themselves. And you have all of the documented heavy books detailing where all of their hidden clones are so that they can be destroyed. And when you reach into your backpack, those extremely heavy tomes cross-referencing all of the failback plans that the Circle of Eight had are in your possession because only you were good enough to find that out.
Mm-hmm. I slide it across it. They're already dead.
And
Irony. Anybody go catch that?
yeah. And she says, "Excellent. Wow. Well, good news and bad news. We don't think we'll be able to get all of them today, but there won't be a Circle of Eight anymore."
My principal will be most displeased. At least, as I recall, she was very displeased.
No, what do you mean, as you recall? What?
Nothing, never mind. It'll have to do.
Well, whatever. And she pulls out 10 platinum bars in a bag, shows them to you, and slides them across the table.
I slide them into the booth next to me.
At which point, you're given an extremely heavy headache, and you sort of, that thing where you're so tired you sort of snap and you're falling asleep, and you snap your head awake.
Microsleep.
Yeah, you microsleep for a second, and you're sitting in the same place in the Green Dragon Inn, and you're reading the newspaper, and the town crier's note that says, "Disaster at the signing. Big B and Tensor are dead." Moving on to Jovi.
For final thing, he just looks up and says, "Well, what do you want me to do about it exactly?" And just throws the newspaper down, like very upset.
Hey,
Hey.
where do I find myself? How old am I? What's happening?
So you're in the right now.
The right now.
The right now.
The exactly right now.
It's the Elvish word for Tuesday at 4:30.
Okay.
You're in a bit of a different situation. You are actually where you're supposed to be. You're standing in a room that is concentric circles on this. There are concentric circles drawn on this stone floor. Around you the walls are made of wood, but there are stained glass. They almost look like mirrors, but the color is completely opaque on them. There are about a dozen of them around you in all directions. And there are hallways that go off every which way. And there is a small podium with a book on it.
I can intuit that this is where the Rift Guard probably defended the portals, right? That's immediately her assumption.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So she looks around just in awe after all the years of hunting. She's finally found this thing. Yeah, she absolutely runs up to the book and flips it open.
Yeah. So it is a detailed history of the Conclave of the Horizon Walkers. It talks about their mission, but and it also has a log throughout the ages of a whole bunch of different temporal and interdimensional goings on that the rangers of the rifts have just sort of been scouting and watching all this time. The last note is from your dad. And it's there's this incredibly long written note, and it says, we have to abandon this post, but I think that it will be found. Bastrain has moved against us, but no one can know where this is. He can't know that I ever guarded it, so everyone has to have a different perception of me than they ever knew. He says, now I think the next person that I think will find this will likely be Fella. Yeah. And if you're not her, we need you to get her this message. She needs to come here and walk the path of the Rift Walker so that the gateways can be reopened. The demons were pulled into the sky a long time ago, but it won't work forever. And we can't keep it up for that long. Bastrain can never know this place exists.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm very connected to her. So I think the first thing that happens when she reads the note is she bursts into tears. She had thought that her father was trying to kill them and that he was a complete traitor. And this note proves that that's not true after all these years of believing that. So she is completely overcome with joy that at least one person in the world who she thought had turned bad hadn't. Yeah, so she definitely takes the book. So their mission then, as far as the Book of the Horizon Walkers, was for them to make sure that the demons basically stayed wherever they were sealed.
Yep.
And Bastrain probably wants to set them free, judging by the note at the end.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Does it look like anyone has tread here at all in recent time? Any like handprints in dust or anything of that nature?
No. However, one of the new powers that you now get, I believe for being level 3, is the ability to feel...
Sense portals within 1,000-foot radius.
Yep.
So, are there any portals near me? I assume the...
So,
Yeah.
the book details the first steps to walking the horizon, as it were. And since it's your character's thing, you can describe to me what the sort of like quick ritual is that allows you to sort of reach out and see interdimensional portals, or sense them.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so I don't know if there's technically like, there doesn't have to be any sort of verbal component, sort of
No,
like
not
a
at
wizard's
all.
cast.
No.
Okay, so I think the way it works, she can do this either mentally or she can do it out loud. Have you ever seen the videos of people who herd sheep and instead of using any sort of animals or anything like that, they will actually sing to do it?
Sure. Yeah.
Like they hit high enough pitches where their voice reverberates across the hillside. So I don't think she has to do it out loud. I think she can, but if she even just thinks those tunes, then it sort of reverberates off and she can feel the ping back or like hear the sound come back to her.
Sure. So I would say that for the first time, especially while she's alone, she would do it out loud so that she could mentally do it later.
Yeah.
As soon as you do, all of the mirrors in the room ping open, and you can now sort of see through them, because the ability, I believe, also tells you where they go. Mm-hmm. You see that one is like the plane of fire, one is the, but most of them don't have images. The plane of water, through it you can see a tumultuous storm that Mizzy seems to be trapped in. In the plane of shadow, you can see you can see Gale stuck in the plane of shadow.
You can keep going.
and you can see that Rilquist is stuck in the ethereal plane. And Gale seems to be just standing in, from what you can tell, a field of just dark nothingness, swinging and exploding with lightning at a bunch of shadow forms that keep coming at her. Rilquist seems to be wrapped up in... He seems to be sitting in a tavern somewhere that's in perfect color, but he seems extremely distraught, emotionally drained, and younger, a lot younger from what you can tell, and he's throwing away a newspaper.
Okay. Crap. So, and I don't have any way to recall them to me. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is at level 3, I also get an extra just free spell that I learn as a Horizon Walker, and that's Protection from Evil and Good. So before going into these things, since this is very new, I'm going to cast Protection from Evil and Good on myself.
Sure. Protection. Yeah, I think you have to specify. Is it protection from evil?
Yeah. So I'm going to protect myself from evil.
Fair.
In case there's anything in these that, could extra hurt me. So I'm going to do that. And then which one of them seems like they are in more imminent danger? Rilquist looks distraught, but Gale looks like she's actually in major trouble.
Gale is currently in mid-combat. I mean, she's holding her own. Nothing can seem to come at her.
Okay.
Everything that gets within, about 10 feet seems to be struck with a bolt of lightning.
Okay. First, I'm going to look at the portals, and I'm just going to shout out to them.
Your voice does not carry over dimensions, as you can see.
Well,
you attempt, and you are not returned.
Fuck. So running into the dimension of shadows, I'm running into the plane of shadows.
Gale, from near out of the captain's quarters, from what you can tell, bursts Jovi.
The fuck?
And everything around you sort of starts to get real warbly, real wavy. You do not see this, by the way, Jovi.
That's fine. I'm gonna stay close to the portal is still open behind me, right?
Oh yeah, you can see it absolutely. You
Okay.
see a big, oval.
Great. Then immediately I'm going to run to your side, Gale. I'm gonna hold out my hand and say, "We need to get out of here now."
Okay.
This is
okay.
This is a different plane. This is dangerous. I don't know what we're fucking with
First,
here.
I look at her and I poke her, and I grab her face and I'm squishing it around.
Yes, I'm real. Let's get out.
Okay, let's go.
All right.
Okay.
You pull.
But I turn around and I'm like, you guys.
As you turn around, you just see a wheat field, empty, and without real solid form.
Fuck you, field.
You all enter back into the main room. The portal goes not dark, but it's no longer anywhere near as active since it doesn't have anyone near it.
Okay, and
Rilquist is still,
no, she's about to jump to the next portal, but she sort of looks around to the others now that she's getting an idea of how this works, and she just laughs. It's a very weird, nervous laugh of, oh, okay, I think I get it. Cool. And then she's going to run into the ethereal plane. Gale, stay here.
Oh, she's taken shots from the flask that she always carries and has begun to write a strongly worded letter.
Good. Don't touch anything else.
She reaches out.
No, Gale. Yep. Those things especially, don't touch them, okay?
All right.
Gale.
While you
Angry
are
letter.
Jovi, while you are attempting to wrangle Gale, the portal to the ethereal plane starts to crackle and
Run. I run.
as you get close to it, give me a reflex save.
Oh, shit. What? This would be a dex save?
Yeah, sorry, dex save. God damn it.
21.
You are perfectly fine as you reach your hand back as a thorn of darkness spikes out of the glass.
Jesus, what?
After a couple seconds, Realquist,
Yes.
someone comes up. You feel a gentle hand on your shoulder, and a woman comes to sit down in front of you, and she is wearing a long green dress, and she looks at you and she says, Realquist,
What took you so long?
I had no idea you'd be leaving the material plane anytime soon. You never talk to me anymore. Your friends want to rescue you, and fine, but what are you doing here?
Realquist has a girlfriend.
Why don't you... You left so quickly.
And I had my reasons.
Well, what could you possibly... How could you possibly say no to everything we had? Look at this place. I built it just for you, just in case you ever came by. Just to remind you. I never treated you poorly, did I?
No, you never treated me poorly. Well, you did the once.
I would never do anything to you that I would not need to. You know that I value everyone that works for me.
Oh, I know. You feel perfectly justified in everything you do. I understand that.
Well, it is important to be confident, is it not?
It has its place, certainly.
So, what brings you here? I have to know. I mean, last I'd heard you'd sort of fallen out.
Well, I was taking a bit of a, ramble, as it were. I just felt that I wouldn't be good company for the people I'd been around for so long.
Realquist, you do not ramble. Do you owe someone something? Do you owe me still? I don't really keep up the accounts. If you do, I'm sure they'll get around to it, but I'm sure it's something we can work out. Please, tell me who you work for. I would love to know.
I may have my debts to you, Domina, but I don't think that's one of the things I owe you. My explanations are my own.
Well, fine then. I enjoy the game anyway. I mean, what's the fun of simply catching the mouse in the trap if it's so good at avoiding them? Fine, be on your way. But now that I know that you're not hiding under some rock, I do hope you will come see me again.
Somehow I think I probably will.
At which point she disapparates.
Rokus just collapses, and it's like that he's been holding this brave front this entire time, and he's terrified.
The sort of dark spike seems to be gone as soon as this woman exits the picture.
And could I see this whole scene? Did I hear the conversation?
Not quite, no. You saw a woman sit down. Dark magic enveloped the portal. When she disappeared, it was gone. And
the moment the dark magic started enveloping the portal, she pulls out her swords and is like slashing at it. She's trying to do like anything she can to get this thing away. And the moment it dissipates, she runs through.
And Realquist hears someone clatter into the bar.
I turn around and look.
Realquist!
What the hell are you doing here? Get out of here!
We need to get you out of here. I'll be fine. Let's go.
All right, if we can try.
She seems to take you out the front door, and then you are in the conclave of the Riftwalkers.
Oh, bloody hell. Oh, of course. Promises.
Promises. What promises? Who is that woman?
She's not for you to worry about.
Well, this is kind of my domain, so I'd like a few answers. What the hell happened? How did you guys end up there? Wait, fuck, Missy. And Shobi's gonna run towards the plane of water.
And we'll leave it at that.
Oh, shit.
I want answers. Oh, wait, fuck, Mizzy.
Well, all right then.
Oh no, I really wanted to roleplay that. Damn it.
I know.
And on that note,
Yeah.
yeah. So we'll give us an intro and an outro for Mizzy's segment.
Oh, I hadn't.
It can be very simple. It's like, and now Mizzy, well.
I was just gonna, say, hey, we'll just start from there at the top of the next session with everybody here.
Oh, okay. All right,
Yeah,
we can do
yeah,
that
yeah.
too. We can do that too.
Yeah.
That works for me. All right.
Yeah.
On that note, playbettercast@gmail.com, playbettercast@gmail.com, @playbettercast on the Twitters, Instagrams,
Play Better Productions on Twitch.
Play Better Productions on Twitch, and don't forget our store on Cafe Press. Baltimore Bitchface t-shirts are available. And is there anything else? Oh yeah, Mimesis, 7th of October-ish on 2 o'clock. Come watch it. Or
Eastern time.
or if it's now after that, it'll be out on the pod shortly, or we'll have already been on the pod. I hate this whole timing thing. It just makes everything difficult, really.
If you find yourself in similar temporal dislocations, don't worry. It's already happened, and it won't will better. I don't have any.
It's already happened again and again, and again and again. Love isn't the enemy, forever is. I'm Cameron McNary.
I'm Molly McLennan.
I'm Nurse Hart.
And I'm Ryan Skeen.
Play well.
And then everybody on stream gets to watch me.
Cat's not here to take us off and life
for
had to go all
productions
the
in
way.
here.
Oops. Do-do-do.
Nom-nom.
Do-do-do-do.
I like seeing if I can make my gaze more